I have a one-sided physical connection with my cold roommate. When he eats, I feel completely full. When he showers, it feels like someone's touching me. When he takes care of his needs, I'm biting my pillow, whimpering uncontrollably. One day I couldn't take it anymore and gently suggested he should show some restraint. My ice-cold roommate slowly moved closer to me. "What if I can't hold back?" he asked. I reluctantly opened my eyes, feeling uncomfortably full. Trying to roll over, I suddenly burped. Sleep was impossible now, so I got out of bed with my round belly to walk around. I looked exactly like a pregnant woman taking a stroll, bed with my round belly to walk around. God, what a nightmare. Me, a timid gay guy, somehow developed this one-sided physical connection with my cold, straight roommate Jake. After just a few days, I was on the verge of a breakdown. Gay guy, somehow developed this one-sided physical connection with my cold, straight roommate Jake. When he eats, I feel stuffed. Given our obvious size difference, our appetites are naturally very different. Even when I'm full, I still have to eat something. Without proper nutrition, I lost 10 pounds in just a few days. Worse, whenever he bumps into someone playing basketball, my body ends up covered in bruises the next day. But the most unbearable part? When he showers every night, I feel like invisible hands are caressing me. My entire body breaks out in goosebumps, from head to toe. It's both weird and embarrassing. Night, I feel like invisible hands are caressing me. My entire body breaks out in goosebumps. After several days, I'd instinctively shudder whenever I saw him. I've thought about talking to Jake many times, but how do you explain something so supernatural? Ask him to eat less? Stop showering? Quit sports? Impossible. Coming right out with it would be worse. If I mentioned our connection, he'd probably think I was crazy and call a mental hospital. I felt even more dejected. Just bear with it, I guess. As long as he doesn't get stabbed, everything else is manageable. I wandered around our dorm with my full belly, watching my other two roommates play video games. After a while, my pajama pants felt too tight, so I instinctively pulled them down a bit and lifted my shirt, exposing half my stomach. Much more comfortable without the restriction. Suddenly, the door opened quietly. Jake was back. Seeing me standing there with my stomach exposed, he paused, his eyes quickly scanning my bare abdomen and waist. At the same time, I felt his heartbeat suddenly accelerate. That wasn't my heartbeat. It was Jake's. How strange. Ever since this connection began, whenever Jake saw me, I could feel his heart racing. Sometimes I wondered if he had arrhythmia or early heart failure, or if my appearance somehow startled him. But that seemed unlikely. Though his heart was pounding, Jake's expression remained cool. He looked away, nodded slightly, and walked straight to his closet. He put down his bag, took off his shoes, and in one smooth motion, pulled off his t-shirt. His muscles, still pumped from working out, were clearly defined and slightly sweaty. The overhead light hit his body perfectly, maximizing the visual impact. Honestly, guys like Jake are considered top-tier catches in the gay community, but he's extremely homophobic. He once beat up a guy who hit on him. Like Jake are considered top-tier catches in the gay community. To avoid exposing my sexuality and getting beaten up, I've always kept my distance, maintaining a straight guy act, and this proud, aloof campus heartthrob would never actively seek a deeper friendship with a roommate like me. So we've maintained a polite roommate relationship. I never expected this one-sided connection would completely wreck me. Now Jake was about to shower. Not only would I have to endure feeling stuffed, but also that embarrassing sensitivity. Talk about being caught between a rock and a hard place. I felt so resentful that my gaze turned pitiful. "Ryan, what's wrong?" Perhaps my stare was too obvious, because the tall guy suddenly turned to look at me, his eyes dark. I immediately waved awkwardly. Nothing. I was just spacing out. Go shower before the hot water runs out." Jake didn't press further. He nodded and went to the bathroom. Press further. He nodded in. I patted my soft belly dejectedly and returned to bed, preparing to endure what was coming. Soon, the familiar sensation of being caressed began, the familiar trembling touch. But today Jake's shower seemed longer than usual. Normally he takes quick 10-minute showers, but it had been 15 minutes already. What was taking so long? I confusedly pulled back my bed curtain to check what was happening, but the next second, my waist suddenly went weak. I almost fell, because I felt something very wrong with my body. At 11 p.m. in our dorm room, I was curled up in bed, sweating profusely and helplessly biting my pillowcase. One hand desperately covered my eyes, the other clutched the sheets. My body was covered in sweat, my heartbeat doubly rapid, the stimulation doubly intense. Jake might look like he's all about self-restraint, but how could he be doing that in our dorm bathroom? It had been half an hour. Was something wrong with him? I cried and whimpered, tears streaming down my face. After what felt like forever, the sensation finally subsided. I released the pillowcase, breathing heavily but silently. I heard Jake come out of the bathroom, casually chatting with Brad and the others about some game. His voice cool and collected. Everything seemed normal, as if he hadn't just done something inappropriate. Great. Only my world was in shambles. After recovering for a bit, I sat up, planning to take a shower. I had to. My pajamas were soaked with sweat and uncomfortably sticky. All Jake's fault. I cursed internally as I climbed down from my bed. Maybe because of what had just happened, my limbs felt weak. I missed a step and started falling from the ladder. Holy shit. But the next second, someone caught me by the waist. The fresh scent of shower gel enveloped me. I turned back helplessly, my tear-moistened eyes meeting Jake's directly. I watched his Adam's apple move strangely. Then his heartbeat started racing again, pounding loudly. Beyond my own startled heart rate, I could feel Jake's shared heartbeat too. Be careful. Hold on tight next time, he calmly advised, releasing his arm from my waist. Brad looked back with concern. Yeah, Ryan, you scared me too. Good thing Jake caught you. It was definitely frightening. Enough to make the ice-cold campus god's heart race. I awkwardly looked up to thank Jake. Thanks, Jake. No problem. He paused, then added, Are you going to shower? Yes. I awkwardly tugged at my pants, afraid he might notice my embarrassing situation down there. Please be quick. I might need another shower. He paused. It's a bit hot. What? It was only 68 degrees today. How was it hot? That night, lying in bed, I was forced to soil my pants a second time. I stared blankly at the ceiling. Jake truly deserved his reputation as the #1 crush in our university's gay community. His equipment wasn't at normal human levels. A true male specimen. Though impressive, I really wanted to punch him. Who does that twice in one night without rest? Aren't you worried about kidney deficiency? Listening to the rustling sounds of Jake quietly getting into bed, I closed my eyes, exhausted. I'll skip the shower. I'll wash tomorrow morning. Dirty is fine. I'm completely drained and can't move anyway. I have to say, I was unexpectedly prepared. The next day, just as dawn broke, a whimper escaped my lips. It was jarringly loud in our quiet dorm room. Even Brad's snoring paused for a moment.